up in the house as well too. What's going on, original? What's going on? We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna dive into this real quick. Its title is "Racism is Aging and Destroying Black Americans' Brain." I want to go ahead and just touch up on this article. I saw this in the news a couple of weeks ago, and I meant to have a space on this. This is from November 14th on the statnews.com. Statnews.com. Didn't actually curate this post on newstoter.com, but still interesting nonetheless. It says brains of Black Americans age faster. Study finds with racial stressors a likely factor. So let me go ahead and get into this. If you guys can hear me well, I'm going to go ahead and start on this article real quick. Streaming this also on YouTube as well too. So if you guys, for whatever reason, have any issues in the space and get kicked out, you can always go to our YouTube channel as well and can listen to it being streamed right there as well too. So let me go ahead. And it says, once again, the title is Brains of Black Americans Age Faster. Study finds with racial stresses a likely factor. The brains of black adults in the U.S. age more quickly than those of white and Hispanic adults, showing features linked to Alzheimer's disease and other dementias as early as midlife, according to a new study. The study, published Monday in JAMA Neurology, analyzed the MRI scans of nearly 1,500 participants from two racially and ethnically diverse cohorts. It found that black adults in midlife, on average, in their mid 50s, were more likely than whites or Hispanic adults of the same age to have a higher prevalence of white matter lesions, markers of cerebrovascular disease that are associated with cognitive decline and Alzheimer's disease. Previous research has established stark racial disparities in Alzheimer's disease, which affects more than 6 million Americans. Hispanic people are 1.5 times more likely to have the disease than white people, while black people are twice as likely to have the disease compared to those who are white. The new study strengthens the case that vascular disease may be especially detrimental to brain health in black populations and may start to affect the brain far earlier in life than previously thought. Adam Brickman, a professor of neuropsychology at Columbia University and the study's senior author, said the research group wanted to understand when those racial and ethnic disparities began to manifest in the brain, but he did not expect to see brain aging to start so early and to do so only in the black population. It's evidence that when we think about outcomes in late life, a lot of those changes are starting early in life, he said. Cognitive aging is a lifelong phenomenon, not just something that happens when you're 65. The researchers do not think the difference can be chalked up to genetic factors. They hypothesize that early brain aging in black participants was linked to weathering, the accumulation of racial stressors over time due to discrimination, poverty, residential segregation, pollution, and fears about personal safety. Weathering has been linked to a number of poor health outcomes, including depression, migraines, hypertension, and higher infant and maternal mortality. The brains of black participants in midlife look like the brains of older adults, said Indira C. Turney, a cognitive neuroscientist and associate research scientist at Columbia, who was the paper's lead author. Given that Hispanic people also face structural inequities, the team was surprised that early brain aging did not appear to the same extent in that cohort, which was made up largely of immigrants from the Dominican Republic and their children. The difference is something Turney plans to explore in future research. The differences in the amount of brain aging between racial and ethnic groups were not as large among older adults. This may be because people with early brain aging in midlife are generally less healthy and may have shorter lifespans. Brickman said black adults who do survive in the old age, he said, may be harder and have a healthier brains. The study was applauded by many in the Alzheimer's research and advocacy because of its diverse pools of participants. The Washington Heights Inwood Columbia Aging Project, known as WHICAP, which is made up primarily of people who are Black and Hispanic, in an offspring study of the racial and ethnic disparities in Alzheimer's disease, which includes children of WHICAP participants. This is a notable departure from the typical Alzheimer's studies, which have historically enrolled only a small percentage of Black and Hispanic people. It's an example, said Andrew Gilmore, an Alzheimer's researcher and associate professor of emergency medicine at the University of Wisconsin, who was not involved with the study. These are populations we need to be studying. To her, study additional evidence that healthcare providers should take immediate steps to help patients prevent dementia by focusing on controlling high blood pressure and other aspects of vascular disease. Cardiovascular disease is something that is largely modifiable, she said. This is something that can be done right now while the progress towards disease modifying drugs continue. Gilmore also said the study highlighted the need for larger Alzheimer's research and treatment community pursue less popular areas of research, which such as treating the vascular causes of dementia that may disproportionately affect non-white populations with as much urgency as they do for the search of new Alzheimer's drugs. It's unjust when we look at this cohort and see the modifiable risk factors affecting these populations that aren't prioritized, aren't pursued with the same funding and same vigor, she said. Stephanie Monroe, the executive director of African Americans Against Alzheimer's, said the study emphasizes the importance of communicating the roles that conditions like vascular disease, diabetes, and hypertension play in dementia risk. Heart health is brain health, she said. We need to talk about that. That prevention message is something Turney takes back to the community participants she works with who are eager to learn more about how to better care for their brains. She considers the research project to be collaboration with participants and says it's important to listen to local communities about the directions that research takes. As a scientist, you think you have a good research question, and the community will say, I don't care about that. Why don't you look at the air pollution in Harlem? She said. Turney regularly takes part in dementia education programs held in Washington Heights and Harlem to discuss nutrition, sleep, exercise, and other topics related to brain health. There are no PowerPoints on offer, just robust conversation. These are not just data points, Turney said. These are people. So I see we had quite a few people coming up in the space while I was actually reading that article. Peace to everybody coming up in here. I appreciate y'all. We're talking about the actual impact of what racism has done to the actual black brain in America, destroying black Americans' brain more often than any other group, white, Hispanic, whoever. Black people are getting Alzheimer's and dementia and some of these cognitive diseases in their midlife and their 50s and stuff like that. A lot of times we assume that these diseases pop up when people get 65 and 70 years of age, and we're saying no, that's not the case. And one of the major things that is affecting the actual black brain, black Americans, is the actual all the stress and all the BS and all of the racism and everything that you have to go through as a black American in this country. So a lot of that is having a major negative impact on the actual black people brains. Let me say peace to everybody that's on the YouTube listening to this. Peace to Rob, peace to Casey, you guys and whatnot. Peace to everybody that's come up in the space also that may want to speak. If any of you guys, I know pretty much all of us in here has a family member or knows a relative or neighbor or somebody who has autism, not autism, but Alzheimer's. They have dementia. And like I say, now, unfortunately, this thing is getting to the point that we got people in our 50s, and you got to start wondering if it's going to start trickling down to people in their 40s and stuff also starting to get this as well, too, because of the weathering and just so much nonsense that you have to go through and live within this actual country just to have a somewhat normal life. Mr. Engaging, how you doing tonight? Go ahead and get the mic, bro.
Yeah, this is hitting me home, man, on a very personal tip. Me being a member of a civic club at one point in my life, um, I was like developing projects and stuff for the community, and to see how other organizations, other people will try to shut that down, knowing that Black Americans need these type of things, they need to be held as hate crimes and viewed as hate crimes, and other things of that sort, because they're blocking tools that's used to improve the lifeline of our communities. So, like, this is devastating just hearing this, and thank you for sharing this news story.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We're all impacted by this. Like I say, there's not many people that we know that doesn't have someone in their family that has some signs of dementia or Alzheimer's or just any, cognitive type of issues and stuff going on. So, and like I say, the thing that's really frightening is that you got people midlife. Nobody expects people 50 years old to start showing signs of dementia, Alzheimer's, and stuff like that. But you got people in the 50s, mid 50s, And who's to say that you don't have people in their 40s as well showing signs of this right here? So, it's pretty frightening. It's pretty scary. I thought it'd be a serious issue. And it's an issue that I wanted to go ahead because as much as we like to talk about the news and politics and lifestyle and culture, it's a must that we also put in these health issues as well. To a lot of our people, we get treated. We have the worst healthcare in this country. Okay, we suffer from healthcare deficiency more than any other group in this country. So it's a must that we go ahead and we address some of these things that's going on with just the actual healthcare inequities and stuff going on in the Black community in the United States of America as well too. So yeah, we I want to touch up on this. I saw I believe my man Black Pressure. I saw him actually post something in one of our DMs about this. So I looked at it and I was like, well, this would be a very interesting space to have on. Just the actual data. It was only 1,500 people included in that actual study that they just recently took, but still, nonetheless, it was staggering what we saw. Like I say, the fact that you're seeing almost two times, I think two times more than what white people get it, we're getting it and whatnot. So and it's playing and I named the actual factors for those who didn't actually hear the article as I was reading and stuff like that. But there are a number of factors that's playing into this that's hitting Black people harder than anybody else. Go ahead, Mr. Engaging, and then Professor, if you as an original, if you guys want to
Yeah,
say something, y'all go ahead too.
yeah, I wanted to tap into that. Like, I'm surprised they didn't really tap into the breakdown of the sexes from male to female. They didn't go into like the breakdowns of the numbers because I didn't hear that being shared. The reason why I wanted to like um, push onto that a little bit more is because of like CTE is a big conversation that needs to be had in our community, especially when it comes to young Black men when it comes to sport football. A lot of our Black men are getting traumatic brain injuries and they're not getting the help that they need in and out of the league, or no matter what various stages they are within their football career or journey. And that's an issue. Like when you see like some of these brothers that they're really big and stuff, they're strong, like and they're snapping. I don't think that's a good look, and I think that how they're handling it is not a good look. And then we've got guys throw Jerry Jones in there. We've got guys like Jerry Jones with the Cowboys saying that you kind of see the results, the reasons why our players are not getting the care that they need. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, when you factor and that's a whole nother argument that Mr. Engagement, when you're talking about the actual physicality that goes along with football and stuff like that, yeah, that's a whole nother issue. But this issue here in itself is scarier than that because for the simple fact is that, hey man, we don't even most of these people don't even have on helmets and they're not running into 250-pound men and getting concussion and everything like that. This is just simply the life that's going on in America, the kind of obstacles and hurdles that you're facing that you're getting so beat down from what's going on around you and in your environment that your mind is almost to the point that it just can't take it. I mean that's very scary. That's a very serious issue that we need to go ahead and we need to go ahead and start addressing. And like in the article they were saying they're talking about all of these drugs and stuff like that, but a lot of things that could be preventative health, we got to go ahead and start looking at that as well too. And I'm sure that has to do with diet and everything else and exercise and stuff like that too. But there's a number of factors I'm sure that plays a part in it. And even I'm sure you have people that's in pretty good health and stuff like that, and still just like I say, just the wear and tear of living here in America and what you're having to cope with at times, it's really doing a number on a number of people.
Yeah, but they didn't explain also that because of COVID, our health for like even Black men has accelerated, where our life expectancy has gone down, and I still haven't seen any policies to address some of the health crises that go along with Black men. I think we went down like 2 or 3 years in life expectancy because of COVID. So we don't see any medical research to like support these type of things. These are like things that your civic organizations need putting pressure on the government to do as well. And I don't see those type of conversations being done to get the type of results that we need to in our communities.
Hey, and what you're saying, I have no disagreement with on you. I have no argument because what you're saying, life expectancy for Black men did suffer because of the COVID. and everything else. So what you said, and in terms of health and stuff, we're the ones that die faster and quicker than anybody else as well too. So that's something also that needs to be addressed because we live the shortest life. If you compare everybody else in this country, we're gonna die first. It's just unfortunately that's the way it is. But we tend to die before any and everybody else as well too. So let me just say I can't say I disagree with anything you said, man. Like you're definitely correct on that. Let me say shout out again to everybody that's over there and the couple people I have over there in the YouTube channel as well. Shout out to you guys as well too. Let me go ahead and let my man Professor go on here. Professor, I know you got something you want to add to it, so please. And anybody else that wants to speak tonight, anybody that's been impacted by this, anybody that knows anything, anybody that just wants to say anything off their chest, they want to talk about the black health and the actual white supremacy and racism that goes along and that's taxing our bodies. And please go ahead, just request a mic and come on up here and speak.
Thank you, there, Newstoter. And just want to say once again, brother, you bring some good spaces, informative for our community. That's why I try to make sure I let everybody know when you're having your spaces so they can come in here. Even if they don't want to speak on the issue, they can listen and get information that they can take back to their families and to their friends within their communities. Because we need to make sure we stay on top of issues such as this. Our health is very important. One of the things um, that my mom always instilled in me was my health, because she always talked about the fact that black men tend to just kind of lax on going to the doctors, which is, and I guess it goes back to the situation with the Tuskegee experiment and other medical racial dynamics from the past that still affects us to this very day, where black men say, "Oh my God, I don't want to go to a doctor because I can't trust them." And it's understandable because we're living in a white supremacy society where you go to a white doctor, are they going to really tell you what you need to know? See, this is where some of the problem is coming in at, because they can get us on so many ways, y'all, when it comes to this white supremacy. One of them being medical genocide, because they don't necessarily tell you all of the dynamics of your health, information that you need to know to keep yourself healthy. Um, they can discriminate in many different ways. They can hurt you. This is why you have to try, my people, to find doctors that are black American. Okay? Don't give your health over to white people, because unfortunately these people are not going to care about your situation. They're just not. I went and I found me a black doctor that I go to, um, and we do have them out here. Um, but I think for so many years, because of the colonization of our people, we believe that white is white. In other words, white people tell you something, you're going to go believe it, and you want to go that way, which is the whole thing with the assimilation, um, going and wanting to be in white spaces. Uh, this whole assimilation and integration has hurt our community. We really just didn't need to do it. But nevertheless, we go into these spaces. We think that these people are going to look out for us. And even to this day, when you try to talk to your people about, hey, go and find people that look like us that can help us with our medical needs, we still have people that say, well, I don't really want to go to a black doctor. I'd rather go over here. See, we do this to ourselves, y'all. We kind of discriminate against our own people. It's the same thing with any of the black businesses. We don't, for whatever reason, we don't want to go to a black business because we'll say, no, I don't want to deal with nobody black because they don't even know how to treat their own people, right? And so we'll go over to these white people who going, hey, they're going to make sure they charge you an arm and leg for whatever you want. They're going to try to get everything out of it. We have to start giving our businesses or giving our business to our own. And so when it comes to your health care, your medical needs, find people that look like us, that are Black American, and go there. I wouldn't put my faith into these white people because they're not looking out for us. It is a proven fact while this whole COVID thing was going on that more discrimination had been determined, and that's why so many of our people were dying from this COVID. Okay, these folks want us out of the way. They want us out of the way, everybody. So I just want to come in here and say that. Let's find people that are our people, and you might feel comfortable going to a doctor that looks like you. You know, that's how I feel about it. Now, I don't know how anybody else see it, but I feel comfortable going to a Black American doctor. That's me. I land my plane there.
Real talk. DJ, what's going on, man? You up in the space? I know you be sometimes moving about.
Oh yeah, I'm up in here, but I am moving about though. What's good, everybody? Reparations up on a Sunday.
I need you real quick because I need to make a personal call real quick. So I got B
Yeah,
Dub.
I'm up here though. I'm just moving around myself, but I'm in the background.
Okay, because we got BW original and Mr. Engagement. So go ahead, Mr. Engagement. So go ahead and just go in that order and hold it down for me real quick, and I'll be right back.
Go ahead, take your time, bro. There's no rush.
Okay.
What's up, everybody? What's going on? What's going on? Go ahead, BW.
I want to ask, don't they have any type of health clinics or health fairs, stuff like for men only, like they do with women? I think that's what they need to do, so men can get out there and about going to the doctor. It is true how men don't like going to the doctor, because I know a lot of people in my family don't believe in going to the doctor. So men, at least. But a lot of us, I don't know. I guess men are scary or something, or they believe these white doctors going to do something to them. But a lot would tell, like I was trying to get people to get them to buy black. So many people was going against me, which is sick. And I said, they said they don't know where they're at. So I said, you can look it up online and see where they're at. And I told them some places to look. Ain't nobody got time for that. So it's like they're so lost. They're so programmed, think they got to go to white people. But I just think men need to try to get something together to maybe start like a health clinic or a health fair or something strictly for men. They do have something like that in Michigan. I was surprised. It was something strictly for men. And but it was in the suburbs. But I think men need to seek out for stuff like that. It may not be a black doctor, I don't know, but I know it was strictly for men. And y'all need to, research and do stuff like that as a whole, so you don't. Because I done lost brothers from not taking care of themselves. Their lives could have been saved, but they didn't take care of themselves. And that's a big problem for our black men. That's all I want to say.
No, I agree with you 1,000% on that, Sister BW. I'm actually just waking up today, and let me tell y'all why. So my cousin, this joker, like to drink, and when I tell you, God, look out for fools, man, he shouldn't be here right now. The joker ran into the back of one of those tractor trailer low bars. It went under the shit. By the time the tow truck people came there, they got there before the ambulance and the police. They said they saw him outside of the car. How did you get out of the car and walk around? See, this is the type of stuff that we also be talking about. So at the end of the day, when you say we need a health clinic, I think we're going to need a mental health one first, because I just heard today from my aunt, I'm about to go over to my family house, this joker don't sound himself out the hospital. You know what I'm saying? So what's really going on in your mind that you really think that you just didn't have a major accident, could have killed yourself, somebody else? You feel what I'm saying? And as far as the other medical stuff go, the low grade stuff, we don't even want to go get blood work done as men. You feel what I'm saying? We think getting a needle is like the ultimate shit, or they sticking me with something else. It's not even that serious, fellas. Go get yourself checked. And now that I got another auntie, she just came out the hospital. She got some type of cancer, and this shit's serious. And she could have prevented that just by talking to other members in the family. Hey, look, this was going on. Well, hey, look, we're going over to the hospital. You get yourself checked. You know what I'm saying? I understand that. Hey, look, I don't like going to see my regular primary doctor or going to go see to any other doctor for that matter. Because I think with us as men, we don't look at it like that. We think we gonna be strong forever and young forever. But nah, that shit don't work like that though. But I think it was Mr. Gagin or Original.
Brother original.
All right, go ahead, Original. What's good, big dog?
Hey, what's going on? Well, this is kind of a this is kind of like a compound complex sentence, kind of not not punctuated accurately. See, I know, okay, someone mentioned Tuskegee, but see, at the same time, you have to find a black doctor with a black mind that loves black people, because we have to remember now that nurse in Tuskegee, her name was Eunice Rivers, and they changed her name when they did that movie. It was her, and I think that one of those doctors was named Eugene Dibble, and how they duped black people, those black men, to come in there, telling them they had bad blood, this, that, and whatever. And oftentimes you have some of these health fairs and things. Oftentimes they are funded by people outside of the community, and they're looking for something within black people. Because see, years ago, you had this lady. Her name is Arlene Geronimo. What's her last name? Geronimo. She conducted a study on the hidden toll of racism in in the poor black community. And what happened to this lady? She's a white lady now. And what happened to her is, okay, let me read this to you real quick. Geronimo's papers published in top black economic medicine and sociology and public health journals have attracted criticism from major foundations and led some colleagues to virtually blacklist her early in her career. Her findings even provoked death threats. Her and her family were, she as well as her family, she had small children at the time. These white folks threaten her because it's not as if they don't know what they're doing to us. But see, that's one of the reasons why I started trying to learn more about herbs. Like you got, what is it, St. John wort, and there's a few others that's good for helping you with, psychological issues. I mean, it's just the fact that what they do to us in these medical situations, it's just you just can't trust them on a lot of. I know some of us need to go, but there are things you can do to help to cleanse your blood. Because we get a new, I think it's every 90 days we get a new cycle. Our blood recycles itself, and it's just the fact that there are more and more people who are turning turning to herbs. And like I said, we find a good herbalist, hang on to them. Because see, years ago, I wasn't drinking my water the way I should. I was doing all kind of stuff, and sometimes wasn't eating what I should have been eating. I was dehydrated, and so I came down with a hernia. I think I may have mentioned this before, but anyway, I diagnosed myself. So I went to the doctor just to make sure. They said, yeah, that's what you got. They have an assembly line method. They wanted me to go from them so-called diagnosing me, what I did it myself. Then they went to scheduling me to have surgery. I said, oh, wait a minute, isn't there another way to do this? And so I found me, luckily I found a great black herbalist with a black mind who loved black people and walked me through a process to get rid of this naturally. I didn't have to get cut or anything. And then after I went through this and healed myself, then they came out with this. It was, you know how they do these things, these class action lawsuits, where the mesh that they was using to uh, cover with people who had a hernia, it was it was not good. It was there was issues with it, and so I think that's one of the reasons why some black people uh, they have issues with that. Because like I do, like I don't know if y'all ever heard of Dr. Paul Goss. a year, I do his olive oil cleanse. It takes CKLS, lemon juice, and what else? CKLS, what? Yeah, CKLS.
What's that first one? What's that first one again?
CKLS. It helps to cleanse your colon, kidney, liver, and spleen.
Okay, no abbreviation. Okay, okay, right.
Yeah, and so you take 5 CKLS capsules. Like I do mine like on a Saturday, so I take 5 CKLS capsules on a Friday night around 6 or 7, and don't eat anything else. Then you get up the next morning, you take 5 more, and you have to ingest like depending on your weight, you have to ingest like 12 to 16 ounces of olive oil. And when you're drinking the olive oil, when you begin to gag and can't get it down, you would have squeezed those fresh lemons and you sip that lemon juice. It cuts the taste of the olive oil, so you can take a little break and get it all down. But once you get that olive oil down, within like 5 hours, you may have like 2 rapid bowel movements. But then usually for me around like between 12 a.m. and 2 a.m., everything flushes out of my body. You might see some little round green thing look like peas. Those are gallstones. Because when that oil hits your body, your gallbladder is like, okay, what the hell is going on? What is this? And it causes that gallbladder to dump its content. And when you get rid of them gallstones, they come out the back, not the front, and everything is good. So I do that cleanse twice a year to try to keep myself healthy. And I do other stuff, but I really would like to see people, take more control and try to use herbs. Because there was one thing that I'm getting ready to start. I heard this one brother say, what they do is he's in an organization. Each month they eat food like foods that's good for the brain, foods that's good for the heart, the liver, lung, kidney. They eat like that and try as an attempt to try to keep themselves healthy. You do research, just find out what foods are good for different organs, and that can help as well. So I would like to see people to not because Dr. Goss, he yeah, remember I mentioned that I mentioned that examination that Dr. Goss would do called iridology, where they can look in your eyes and tell you what's going on with your entire body. The first time he examined me, he said, "Oh, you're good, you're healthy. Just I want you to do the cleanse and take these herbs, and then you're gonna be all right." So I got it done. The second, he said, "Well, look up. Wait a minute. I thought I told you to put me out of business." Dr. Goss wanted us to study and learn to keep ourselves and our family healthy. Like I told you before, my brother that's next to me has glaucoma, but I conducted research, and I had him to drink a specific smoothie, and I had him to had him to take a couple of supplements. And once that stuff began to build up in his body, his doctor noticed that his eyes were getting better. His eyes were deteriorating, and they were starting to deteriorate fast. And so the doctor said, "Well, are you taking anything else? Are you doing anything else?" Brother said, "No, I'm just putting the drops in like you told me." He said, "Well, look, whatever you're doing, you keep doing it because your eyes are getting better. They're not deteriorating the way they once were." And so I think some of this stuff we can do ourselves and just do some research because there's Dr. Dawson. Well, before I think his children created this website. The website is called New Body Healing. New Body, because Dr. Gauss used to work for the government, putting herbs together for Fortune 500 executives. And so one day, Dr. Gauss told us he was in the lab, and check this out. This was back in the 70s. They were paying Dr. Gauss 80K a year back in the 70s. That was damn good money. So one day he said he mixed up a solution because he had a rash on his arm. They told him, "This is not for you. This is for us." So he decided to take his skill set and he created new body herbs which are tailored to the genetic makeup of black people. So that's why I use his herbs, new body herbs. And I got my niece and a few other people using them as well. But they tried to destroy Dr. Goss over the years, but he was able to survive. And I just want people to understand that there are herbalists out there, and you can call even the office now. They're located in Compton. I mean, they've been there for decades. And so, but I'm gonna try to if I can I'm gonna go to the site and see if it doesn't have that show me. I'm gonna put it on the message and you can upload it. You can upload it. And there's another place that sells this herb. It's called Veggie Hill. They sell Dr. Dawson's herbs plus a couple of other people's herbs. So I would just like for people to start, reading and researching and trying to find some kind of comfort zone for themselves because the body was made to heal itself and you can help that body heal. And as I said before, my mother went to one of these health fairs and she was given a mammogram voucher where she can get a free mammogram. My mother got the mammogram. They claimed they saw something and they just came out the back room and told my mother, the examination said you have breast cancer and this is your doctor. We have to remove your breast. It freaked my mother out. So I was going home one day and something kept telling me, go by your sister's house. I went by my sister's house and my mother was filling this paperwork out and I saw oncology on there. I'm like, wait a minute. Then I had to go into defense mode. And my mother had this hierarchy where she wanted my two older sisters to go with her. But I told my oldest sister, I said, listen, when you go up in this joint, and they were still talking about cutting my mother's breast off. And when I said, you asked them about anti-neoplastin if that treatment would suffice for our mother. And when my sister dropped that knowledge on them, they stopped talking about cutting. See, we have to do our research and begin to read and understand some of this stuff too. It's not difficult to read some of this medical information. It's nothing but words, sentences, and paragraphs. And if you come to a word you don't understand, they got dictionaries on the internet where you can type that word in, hear how it is pronounced, look at what the definition is. We gotta take some of this ownership as well. I mean, that's just the way that I feel. But it's not like these white folks haven't known this. Because like I said, this lady who wrote this article, and when she was hell, her and her family was threatened because she was exposing what the truth as to what racism and white people are doing to black folks, and they don't want that information out there. So I just wanted to share that because there is some stuff that we got to do ourselves as well, and I'll land with that.
For sure on that one. Hey, so getting the Jumbotron, y'all just found is newbodyproducts.net. And I saw the CLKS that you was talking about. So yeah, they are Compton, California, where our folks is at. So yeah, definitely support that. Just let me know that that's the right one right there, original. It's in the
Yeah, that's that one. Yeah.
For sure.
Newbodyhealing.net and CKLS. Yeah, you got the right
Hey, hey, I see they got the referral program. You got a referral code so we can get the extra 20% off.
I ain't got no code.
Yeah, no. I see it's built into the website. So I think if you go sign into your account, you might get a referral code. Go look around real quick. Come back to us. It might be 25% off Christmas or something. You know what I mean? Get you some KLS, y'all. For sure. But just to add on to that or whatever, I wound up having severe acid reflux, wound up doing an endoscopy. So, like you said, a lot of times these doctors, they don't know shit. But the one thing they can.
DJ, you know what, man? Man, I got a recipe where you can, do you have a juicer?
Oh, yeah. No, that's exactly what I'm about to get into.
Oh,
so, and I would like to know the recipe because I actually wound up developing my own recipe.
I think it's collard green, cucumber, lemon, and I think some ginger and I think something else.
Write it in the Jumbotron. Write it in the chat. Put it in the Jumbotron, man.
All right, man.
For sure, I definitely want that recipe, but I wound up developing my own specific recipe. Like you said, a little bit of studying, you'll find out what's what for what and what's good for this and not good for that. You know what I'm saying? Real quick. Even through Google, you can find this information. And Google be misinformation and shit. You know what I'm saying? So I wound up having acid reflux myself, severe acid reflux. So I just, I'm not taking these Pepsi pills. I'm going back and forth to the doctor thinking I'm having a heart attack when it's really just, indigestion and shit. But that shit hurts so bad. Like that trap gas, they call it. Man, that shit think you you about to have a heart attack, yo. No lie. But as soon as you go, it's all good after that. You know what I'm saying? Real rap. So what I did is just looked up online. Hey, look, what's the smoothie recipe for acid reflux or whatever? Start getting into it. So the shit that I'm thinking is bad for me because the high acidity content of certain fruits like oranges or pineapples, I won't be able to eat it. But actually, it's just the opposite. Pineapples and mangoes have certain citrus or certain enzymes in it that neutralizes acid in the stomach. So once I started dibbling and dabbling, being a mad scientist, let me try this with that. I just pretty much developed my own recipe. And I would tell y'all on here, but this is being recorded, so I kind of feel like it's proprietary to me. But if you want to know the recipe, hit me in the background. I'll tell you what it is. Real rap, you know what I'm saying? So with that being said, let's go ahead, Mr. Engagement. We'll get to you, Brother Moko.
What's up, family? Peace, reparations to everybody. Newstoter, thank you for this. Definitely thank you for this space. Um, Original was hitting on a lot of good shit. Um, I would suggest everybody, probably go on YouTube and check out the Minister of Wellness. He's another good avenue to go to. Um, you know, the Creator already gave us our medicine here. We're supposed to eat our medicine. We aren't supposed to be taking no pills, no vaccines, no shit. Every disease that we come across, we have a vegetable that knock that shit right out the motherfucking water. You know what I'm saying? We one thing that I have noticed and that I practice with my family is we eat out G bombs. G bombs stand for greens, beans, onions, mushrooms, berries, and seeds. Notice I didn't say. There you go. There you go. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, DJ. You know what I mean? You're absolutely right. That's 100%. You know what I mean? Notice I didn't say meat. Notice I didn't say fish. Notice I ain't say none of that other shit. Because, see, really, meats are not even supposed to be consumed by human beings. Because every meat has something called amino acid in it. And when you heat an amino acid over 90 degrees, it becomes poisonous. I don't care if you steam it. I don't care if steaming, sometimes you can steam under 90 degrees. But anything, if you heat an amino acid up, it is cancerous, highly cancerous and poisonous to human beings. And another thing that's in all our food is soy. Soy is not supposed to be consumed by human beings. But if you look in the ingredients of everything that's in that market, it has soy something in it. You know what I'm saying? And what soy does for men, soy creates high protein for men. And that makes us susceptible to strokes and heart attacks. That's why we're stroking out and having heart attacks at 30. You know what I'm saying? Because we eat candy bars, we eat potato chips, we eat burgers, we eat all this other shit that has soy packed into it. They even try to put soy in tuna right now. Tuna in the cans. And if you don't believe me, look at the ingredients on your Star Kiss tuna. But you go in your ShopRites or your little Amish stores, look at their tuna. They ain't got tuna in it. They ain't got soy in their shit. And there's a reason for that. But we need to stop being naive and start paying attention to the ingredients that's everything that's in all the things that we eat. Because one thing for sure, two things for certain, Dick Gregory said a long time, 90% of what's in the market is not food. And that's some serious shit. 90%. You probably got 1 hour in your market that's food. Everything else is genetically modified. And that's some real shit. So we already got our medicine here. That's in our greens, beans, onions, mushrooms, berries, and seeds. And since I changed my diet, man, I haven't. You talking to a cancer survivor right here, and I ain't used no radiation and none of that shit to cure my shit. I changed my diet. I stopped that meat. And see, the only protein in meat is the grass that the animals eat. That's the only reason why they got protein in their skin. And it's the poorest protein that you can get. You know what I'm saying? So we really killing ourselves just for being naive and lazy, really. You know what I'm saying? So I land with that. Thanks for the space, Newstoter. Love y'all.
Can I, before you go to the next speaker, can you tell me how to get to the jumbo chart?
That depends on your phone, big sis.
It's an Android.
Okay, and then even that still depends. Because if you got like Android, like 9 or whatever, or older, you may not have it. So if your phone 2 to 5 years old, it's really 3 to 7 years old, depending on the date it was manufactured. But if you're looking at everybody here in the chat, you should see little bubbles right above News Title, WPI, Mr. Engagement Professor. Maybe if you're looking at it on your phone like that, that's how I'm looking at it on my phone. You'll see little dots right above the names. That's the jumbotron. So you could click the little dots, or you could see the actual post right there above the dots. You could, slide it left and right like you're looking at pictures or whatever. I'm not sure if you're seeing that, but you can also click into them, and those are tweets right there. So you look in the jumbotron, y'all get in the jumbotron. Come up on social, our social platform. Make sure y'all follow News Title over on the ScrewTube, aka YouTube, and follow News Title on the actual newstitle.com, the most curated black news on the web. So with that being said, let us know if you see it or not, Mama.
Now, I'm hitting these dots. You say hit these dots, right?
Yeah, that's on the top, but look above the dots though. That's above the names. That's
okay. And it's like for instance, it says WPIR anti-black, replying to news twitters, and that's what the jumbo chart is.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
Keep scrolling across. You'll see another one that says, brother Moku put one in there. Let's be real, folks. This is history. Matter of fact, let's go into that one. Let's see what we're talking about. Medical apartheid. Yeah, get that book, Harry.
Yeah, definitely. She
okay, I got you.
History.
Yeah.
She reveals a lot of history about this medical Western medicine. You know what I'm saying? And what they do to basically destroy us. See, these doctors take oaths. You understand? So it's not like you're looking at your black doctor and saying, damn, why would he be trying to fucking hurt me? Or why would he lie to you? See, they take the Hippocratical oath that that they have to abide by. You know what I'm saying? It's just like if you were a police officer, or if you were, you know what I'm saying, in any other profession. But the thing is see, doctors are practicing. They don't cure. They're not in the game to cure. They're in to manage. They manage your pain so that you can keep coming back spending money. Okay? But just like Original said, his doctor, you know what I'm saying? Holistic doctors, they tell you quick, put me out of business. Our health is supposed to be managed by ourselves because we already have an immune system that fights everything. Hospitals weaken your immune system so they can manage your health, so that they can keep you coming back, can keep getting that prudential money, and keep getting that city rock money, or whatever your insurance is. They know insurance gonna pay, Medicare, whatever. You know what I'm saying? This is how they get paid. They get paid to practice. And that's what it is. When you see a doctor having a private practice, it's not called a practice because it's a joke. It's called a practice because they're practicing. They don't know. But holistic doctors, they'll tell you. When I went to see my herbalist for my breast cancer in my chest more than 6-7 years ago, he told me, he said, all right, I'm gonna ask you a question, Brother Mugo. Do you want to cure this, or do you want to just keep it coming back? I looked at him like he was stupid. Like, what do you mean? I want you to kill it, cure it. He said, okay. And that's what he told me. Change your diet. Eat mushrooms. Put mushrooms in your diet. Eat your salad and put mushrooms in it for 30 days. This won't come back. It hasn't been back since. But you know what? CDC ain't telling us that. You know why? Because they'll put the doctors out of business. You know what I'm saying? Then the hospitals will be out of business. This is a big business. And unfortunately, we're the ones that keep running to it and keeping it business. Not only us. Because, see, white people are deficient anyway. They're mutated. So they need the doctors. That's what the doctors are really for. Doctors aren't for us. Told me a long time ago, you take your enemies to the doctor. You take your loved ones, you take them home, and you take care of them. You take them to the guard. I land with that. I love y'all.
Oh, that's the fire right there. Shout out to brother Moko. And this brother just had a baby, y'all. So let's clap it up for him real quick. You know what I'm saying? Brought another earthling into the world. You know what I mean? Human being, Hueman. You know what I'm saying? But they don't know the correct spelling. You know what I'm saying? I'll let your boy. Hey, what's good, Ray? For sure. Hey, what's good, Ray? We'll bring you. Tyler gonna make you calls in a second. You on a phone call, but let's get to Mr. Engagement real quick, and then come up on that one, Ray.
Yeah, this is definitely hitting home. My stepdad, he passed away at the age of like 57. One of the things that he died from was definitely COVID and other complications, but diabetes was a big thing. And the craziest thing is that I found a doctor that was preserving black people's limbs that would get amputated. My dad, before he passed, I think he lost like 2, 3 of his limbs, like his toes, and it shows how much they just don't care about the black body. And just more and more, and just it saddens me, man. Like because this is the reason why we need reparations, so we can have these specialized doctors, so that they can look out for our health. You know, um, and it's sad that our great minds are being constricted in a way that they're not beneficial to the community in which they come from. So I'm gonna leave it like that.
Nah, that's 100% facts. Find you a Black American doctor ASAP. You know, I don't know if any of y'all got family and friends that's going to medical school. Let us know so we could turn their mind around and say, hey, look, this is what you need to be studying. And bringing up on the holistic doctors, brother Moko. Don't forget a few years ago, right? And this is like I'm gonna say maybe somewhere between like the height of Dr. Sebi, coming into existence. They was killing a lot of holistic doctors, and it's not no alleged shit. Holistic doctors were winding up dead here, this state, that town, that county, white, black, yellow, alike.
Yes,
holistic
yes,
doctors.
you were right, DJ.
Yeah,
You were right, DJ. Hitting it right on the nail, buddy. You're absolutely right. They were killing holistic doctors, and they're still killing them now.
Right.
So, DJ, oh man, you are absolutely right. Um, you know, when they see, I'm gonna tell you, I just had my child, I just had my daughter, and me and my wife had to fight with the nurse to keep my daughter's placenta and her umbilical cord. Because see, we know the value of it. We know that if we knew that our ancestors knew anyway that you're supposed to bury your child's placenta and umbilical cord for protection. You bury that shit so that they'll be protected. This is all spiritual. But them hospitals, they know this shit. Them white people know this shit. That's why they take it and they experiment with it. I said, nah, man, you ain't taking. That's mine. That's my blood right there. You can't tell me no, I can't take my shit. You know what I'm saying? They just amputated one of my girlfriend's legs about maybe 4 or 5 years ago. You know what I'm saying? And I asked my girl. I said, sweetheart, why you ain't asking for your leg? And I asked the doctor, why can't she have her leg? It's hers. Well, it's rotten issues and all that. I said, well, I mean, we buy meat from the market that rot. You know what I'm saying? Like, why she can't have her leg? That's because they use that shit. They experiment on that shit. They take them stem cells just like they did from Henrietta Lacks down in John Hopkins. These dudes, man, they play some wicked games with our organs and.
Real quick, y'all, I have a family emergency that just popped off. So I need to go ahead and close the space out. I do apologize for that. If DJ is if DJ wants to, he could possibly go ahead and just make a part 2 of this space right here and continue it, y'all. But I have a family emergency I need to go ahead and take care of. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and close the space out for the night. I do apologize. This is the quickest we've ever had to close the space out. I do apologize. I appreciate everybody who came to the space tonight. This was a great conversation. I've been away from it for the past 15 minutes handling some family business. So, guys, I'm going to go ahead and close this space out. DJ, you think you can make a part?
Go ahead into the business, man. We staying up here, bro. Go ahead into the business. I'll just start another space.
All right.
I'll follow everybody. Everybody follow everybody. Go ahead into the family, brother. We love you.
All right, bro. Peace to everybody. Y'all have a good one.
Peace, Total. Hope everything all right, bro.
All right, peace, Newstoter, man.
Appreciate that, y'all.